All right. Bears, tigers, lions, monkeys, and birds. These are all exotic animals, and they should not be held in your basement in a cage or even outside your house. Today, I'll be talking to you about 3 points, how it's hard to take care of these animals, why it's bad for these animals, and why it's bad for you. All right, let's stop monkeying around and get into it. First, let's sink our teeth into why it's hard to take care of these animals. First, it'll definitely rack up the bills. You have to hire a vet, and for them, they need assistance as well. You have to pay for anesthetics, correct environment for them to be comfortable in their home and relieve a little bit of stress, dental insurance, pretty much everything just to keep these animals alive. And even with all the treatments that you use, there's a small chance that it'll work. So in the end, it's just easier not to have these as animals and let them live their lives in the wild. Next, let's fly over and see why it's bad for the animals. Now, according to onegreenplanet.org, these animals really deserve to be in the wild. They, for one, are not domesticated like cats and dogs. So there is a risk towards you, which we'll talk about later. As you can see, Michael Jackson did have a ton of exotic animals, and it was really not good for them. Birds typically lose their feathers from picking at them. Monkeys have a tendency to really lash out on you, and tigers and lions, there's just no way to really know if they're going to attack. Now, let's talk about the risk towards you. In a case in 2009, Carla Nash was attacked by her friend's chimpanzee named Travis. Carla had wounds on her nose, mouth, hands, and lips and eyes. She said herself that the monkey Travis was hurting himself. It wasn't just a risk to the animal, or to her, it was a risk to Travis as well. She would see him in the corner of the room, rocking back and forth, hitting his head, and really just not wanting to be there. He had huge knuckles, his coat was dull, his face was flaking, he had sores on his face from really picking at him, punching the cage that he was in, and really just wishing that he wasn't there and he was out in the wild with his brothers and sisters. Now let's recap and talk about what we talked about. We talked about why it's hard to take care of these animals, the risk to the animals, and the risk towards you. Now, in conclusion, I would recommend not having an exotic animal as a pet. It's a risk to you. There's no way knowing what it's going to do to you, when it's going to lash out, when it's going to have enough. And it's a risk to them because they're just sad every day, wishing that they weren't locked in a cage, wishing that they weren't at your house. So just give these animals a favor and let them live in the wild. Thank you.